In our last video, we discovered something profound. Our senses are objects of observation. The mind is also observed. Therefore, neither the senses nor the mind can be the ultimate self. The self is the witnessing consciousness that illumes all experiences without undergoing any modification. If that is true, a fascinating question arises. If you are the witness of the mind, then who is it that feels confident one day and insecure the next? Who is it that feels successful after praise and worthless after criticism? Who is it that keeps changing, adapting, getting stronger, getting weaker, and constantly rewriting its own identity? Modern neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself through repeated thoughts and experiences. Drigdrishya Viveka calls it ahankara or ego or the I thought. And this I determines your confidence, your fears, your willingness to take risks, your ability to recover from failure, even the size of the goals you believe you deserve. Most people never reach their full potential because they spend their entire lives obeying this conditioned I without ever understanding what it is. They mistake it for their true identity. What if it can be rewired? Yes, just understanding the mysterious mechanism can completely transform the way you experience confidence, success, and failure. And Drigdrishya Viveka takes us directly into this mystery. See, the mind is not conscious by itself. Like the body, it is fundamentally inert. Yet, we experience the mind as conscious, capable of thinking, feeling, remembering, and knowing. This apparent consciousness arises because the mind reflects consciousness. Vedanta explains that the physical body is composed primarily of gross matter, while the mind is made up of a subtle form of matter dominated by sattva. Because of its subtle nature, the mind can reflect consciousness just as a polished mirror can reflect sunlight. This reflected consciousness is called Chidabhasa or Chittabhasa, the reflection of consciousness. Although consciousness is all pervading, it manifests distinctly in the mind through this reflection. As a result, the mind appears alive and sentient. See, the mental faculty operates in two distinct ways. The first aspect is the ahankara, the ego, or the I thought. It is the sense of individuality that says, I think, I know, I feel, I act. The second aspect consists of the remaining mental functions such as mind, intellect, memory, emotions, desires, and perceptions. These serve as instruments through which the ego functions. Thus, the mental structure can be divided into the ahankara, the doer, the sense of personal ownership and agency, and the antakarana or the antakarana, the inner instrument, the collections of mental functions that serve the ego and enable experience. If the ego is the karta, the apparent doer, the rest of the mind functions as its instrument. When consciousness is reflected in the mind, it illumes the entire mental field. However, the reflection is most significantly expressed through the ego, the ahankara. If we try to explain it, the relationship between the reflected consciousness and the ego can be compared to a red hot iron ball. When iron is placed in fire, the iron acquires heat and light, while the fire appears to take on the shape of the iron, isn't it? Though iron and fire remain distinct, they become inseparably associated. Similarly, the ego is inert by nature, while consciousness is self luminous. When reflected consciousness shines in the ego appears conscious and begins to say, I know, I think, I act. Thus arises the individual sense of self. This is not the pure self, but the individual I that functions at the level of the mind. Once the ego becomes alive by reflected consciousness, the body becomes associated with that conscious ego. The body itself cannot directly reflect consciousness. It is too gross to do so. However, through its connection with the ego, the body appears conscious. As a result, we experience emotions like I am walking, I am speaking, I am hungry. In reality, consciousness belongs neither to the body nor to the ego. Both borrow their apparent sentiency from reflected consciousness. The body is merely the vehicle through which the conscious ego expresses itself. As of now, on the basis of what we have discussed, you may have noticed that the ahankara possesses three different associations. Number one is the association with reflected consciousness. The ego is associated with chiddabhasa, the reflection of consciousness. This association makes the ego appear sentient. Number two is the association with the body. The ego identifies with the body and experiences itself as a physical individual. And number three is the association with the true self, where the ego mistakenly claims ownership of the true self. It assumes I am the real self. This is not a real association, but a mistaken identification born of ignorance. These three associations become the basis for understanding the nature of bondage and liberation. Let us discuss all three associations of the ego in detail. Number one is sahaja, the natural identification. The connection between the ego and the reflected consciousness is called sahaja or sahaja, meaning natural or inherent. The ego never exists independently of the reflected consciousness. The moment the ego arises, reflected consciousness is already present within it. There is no time gap between the appearance of the ego and the illumination provided by consciousness. Whenever the I thought appears, it is immediately experienced as conscious. This association can be comparable to the relationship between fire and heat. Heat is not added to the fire after its creation, it is naturally present. Similarly, the ego and the reflected consciousness arise together. Because this association is intrinsic to the very existence of the ego, it cannot be separated through any effort. As long as the ego exists, it will remain associated with reflected consciousness. Number two is karmaj, identification produced by karma. The association between the ego and the body is called karmaja, meaning born of karma. The ego can identify with the body only when the body is available in experience. This availability is governed by karma. The physical body itself is a product of karma. The particular body one receives, its form, capacities, limitations, circumstances is determined by the fructification of past actions. Thus, the ego's identification with the body is not natural like sahaja. It depends on the operation of karma. Whenever karma presents the body and the external world for experience, the ego identifies with them and says, I am this body. I am experiencing this world. Without the manifestation of karma, my friend, this identification cannot occur. Now, one important question arises. Why the body is not always experienced? The body remains obvious during the waking state, but it is not continuously available for identification. In the dream state, the waking body disappears from experience. In deep sleep, even the dream body is absent. This demonstrates that identification with the body is not constant. It depends on whether the karmic conditions necessary for experiencing the body are active. When those conditions are withdrawn, identification with the body also disappears. And that is why the association between ego and the body is called karmaja, born of karma, sustained by karma. Number 3 is bhrantijya, identification born of ignorance. The third association is most significant. See, the ego not only identifies with reflected consciousness and the body, it also claims to be the true self. This mistaken assumption is called bhrantijya, the identification born of ignorance. The ego is merely a thought appearing in the mind, yet it assumes I am the real self. I am the ultimate experiencer. I am consciousness itself. This claim is false. The ego borrows its apparent consciousness from reflected consciousness. It is not the original consciousness. Just as a reflection in the mirror is not the actual person standing before, the ego is not the true self. The witness consciousness remains ever free, untouched, and independent. The ego only appears conscious because it reflects that consciousness. So now we have to ask what can be removed and what cannot be removed. See, the purpose of this analysis is to determine which associations are permanent and which can be ended. The natural association between ego and reflected consciousness cannot be removed. As long as the ego exists, reflected consciousness will accompany it. Karmic association between ego and the body comes and goes according to the operation of karma. It is temporary by nature. The mistaken association between ego and the true self, however, is born entirely from ignorance. Since it is produced by ignorance, it can be removed through knowledge. This becomes the central focus of spiritual inquiry. And what is the role of knowledge? Ignorance creates the illusion that the ego is the self. Knowledge destroys this illusion. When true knowledge arises, the ego no longer mistakes itself for the witness consciousness. The individual recognizes the ego is known, the mind is known, the body is known. Therefore, none of them can be the knower. The true self is the witness that illumes them all. This recognition dissolves the false identification born of ignorance. So, what then is the meaning of spiritual awakening? Vedanta refers to this clear recognition as prabodha, awakening through knowledge. Prabodha is not merely intellectual understanding. It is a firm and doubtless recognition of one's true nature. And there are two obstacles that prevent this recognition from becoming steady. One is doubt, where the intellect understands the teaching but continues to question it. And number two is habitual identification, where even after understanding the truth, old tendencies continue to reinforce the feeling, I am this individual. Both obstacles must be removed for knowledge to become truly established, fully established. My friend, when clarity and purity come together, the false identification of the ego within the self collapses permanently.